Hello everybody and welcome to Level 5. I'm Level 5. This is where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games and comic books. And I'm finally at my ranking the movies I saw in 2023. Now to tell the absolute truth, the one of the films on this list, I actually saw the other day. It came out at the very end of December, just before Christmas. And we didn't plan on seeing it, but my mate James was like, hey, I can get 2 tickets for £5. Do you want to go? I went, yeah, sure, why not? So I thought I'd add it to the list, because no, I didn't see it in 2023, but the film came out in 2023, so I'm gonna count it. So that's just one disclaimer. So yeah, let's dive into this list. There are 11 films on the list. Now, these are all films that came out in 2023, and only one of them I didn't see in the cinema. I actually got given to it on Blu-ray before I watched it. Yeah, we'll dive into the list. And again, this is my ranking of the 11 films I saw in 2023. This may completely differ to you guys. So I encourage you to do 2 things. 1, let me know what films you saw in the cinema last year in 2023. But also 2, take my list and reform it into your own. Add the films that you saw that I didn't see. And let me know your list in the comments down below. I'm very intrigued. So yeah, let's dive in with the top video that I want to do in January for a hot minute. So let's dive in with ranking the movies I saw in 2023. At number 11, we have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This is the film I saw the other day, and this is the film that came out just before Christmas. Honestly, it's okay. This film is okay. That's literally all I can say about it. It's the end of the DCEU as we know it, and the DCEU's been a total shamble from the get-go. But this film is okay. There is some funny moments. The choreography is pretty decent, and visually it looks okay. But it does kind of give me a headache after a while. It just seemed a bit pointless, to be honest, since the DCU is now completely shot, and beginning of 2025, we'll be starting a whole new DCU extended universe thingy. So, honestly, this just seemed pointless, but it was okay, I guess. At number 10, we have Super Mario Bros. Honestly, I didn't actually see many faults with this film. It's a lot of fun. I think my biggest disclaimer is, why the hell is Chris Pratt playing an Italian plumber? That made no sense. But this is definitely one for the kids though. If you're an old-time Mario player, like an original Mario player, this may not tickle your fancy. I've heard a lot of people that are original Mario players that were playing Mario from the get-go not like this film. It's a lot of flashy lights, colourful images, the animation is on point, Bowser's really cool, Peaches became a thing, obviously, Peaches, you know, that became a thing, you know, Luigi is kind of in this movie, and I do like the end fight. That was kind of cool. It's about brotherhood, it's about family and all this sorts of stuff, but I do feel like it was more aimed at the children than the gaming fans, which that's what it should have been. At number 9, we got Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I actually really enjoyed this film. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this film. It's actually one of my favourite DC EU films. It's a great sequel. It's really funny. It carries on the storyline. A lot of the kids are now like a little older. Billy is having an internal crisis of what happens when he turns 18, because the foster system doesn't handle 18-year-olds anymore. You know, we have a whole thing with him accepting the foster mum as his mum, which plays on what happened in the first film. And then, of course, we've got the fact that we have, do not ask me his name, I cannot remember it, but we got his best friend, his foster brother, one with the crutches. He's now a superhero, and he takes it in a very cocky way. He takes it in such a way that it gets himself into trouble, which plays on his character. He wanted to be a superhero. He didn't want to be this disabled kid anymore. And I'm sorry, it kind of seems like that's exactly what would happen in real life. The other Shazam characters are pushed to the side a lot in this film, but it doesn't stop it being a decent overall movie. It's a shame Shazam is tied into the DCU. I feel like these 2 films have been great as a standalone, and if they were, maybe a third one could have been made. And of course, it definitely definitely have its faults. It still doesn't really kind of seem both versions of Billy and Shazam are the same person. That still kind of plays harsh. But other than that, the villains are fun. It was nice to dive into some more Shazam lore. You know, there was more exploration and stuff. It was just a fun time. And it had some great funny scenes. Skittles, you know, it was just absolutely hilarious. Number 8, we have Transformers, Rise of the Beasts. Okay, I adore the Transformers movie franchise. I adore the first trilogy. I am actually a fan of all 3 films. In their own respective rights, they all have their issues. Number 4, I thought was fantastic. Number 5 was downright disrespectful and... Bumblebee started something. And this film kind of carried it along. But, just like the 4th movie, yeah, we kind of have an issue here. Transformers has multiple distinctable characters and factions within the Transformers lore. We have the Dinobots, we have the Maximals, we have the Predacons, the Terracons, we have the Cybertron War. You know, we have all sorts of storylines, factions, and beings and stuff throughout the Transformers history. But if it's not Transformers revolving around Optimus and his little group, you are pushed to a plot device, plot point, or a 5-minute cool action scene. And that's literally it. This film definitely feels like a reboot. If this is tied to the first trilogy, it makes no effing sense. I do like what they did, but I wish they did more of what they did. That's my issue with this movie. The beasts in this film look awesome, but it takes so long for us to see them even transform. The beasts don't even transform to the final fight, god damn it. There's an Iron Man suit in this. If you've watched the film, you know what I mean. I'm very confused on that. That makes no sense. Of course, it ends with a CGI fight, but that's okay. It was still entertaining. I do feel like they do need to make a second one revolving around the beasts in a way. I was really glad we got to see them from a different planet and we got to see a bit more of their lore, and then it just became what it is. And every single Transformers film kind of has to be a human being stuck with a drama scenario, and then they're shoved in the world of Transformers, and then bang, their scenario solved. That's every single Transformers movie, and it's kind of getting old. But other than that, it is actually a fun film. I do really enjoy the villain in this. I like his design as well. He looks really cool. The beasts do look fucking fantastic. Their lore's incredible. I just wish there was more of it. Number 7, we have Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I actually really enjoyed this film. It's actually one of the very first films that I ever went to go see in the cinema with my fiance. We'd now been living together for half a year, but there's never been really a film that we've wanted to dive in. Well, turns out my pop-loving, musical-loving, Disney-loving fiance really enjoyed the Hunger Games movies. Makes sense of that one. So I was able to take her to this, and I'm really glad I did. And can I just say, it's my favourite Hunger Games film. It's quite long in length because they didn't want to do the whole Part 1, Part 2 fiasco again, respectively. I actually really enjoyed it. They did something really clever here. They actually split it up into 3 parts anyway, and they had it on screen for you. Part 1, subtitle. Part 2, subtitle. Part 3, subtitle. And each section felt different to each other. It felt like a progressive storyline. Maybe the third act dragged on just a bit too long, but honestly, I quite enjoyed this. The very first set of Hunger Games are shown here. Hunger Games are relatively new and things like this. And we also get to see the introduction to some of the things that happen in the Hunger Games we see in the first, well, it's the first trilogy film, do you know what I mean? I've never actually read this book, though. I've read the first trilogy book, but I've never read this one. I'm actually really tempted to now. We get to see things that build up to Hunger Games. For example, the items that come in. That went horrendously wrong in this film, because they haven't got to that point yet. And things like that. It worked really well. The one thing that I'm confused at, though, and I feel like it was a bit rushed, was the character development for Snow. This film revolves around Snow himself. But yeah, one problem with that, he kind of goes from being this lovable, awesome, badass motherfucker who's really smart to the Snow we see in Hunger Games. Like that. Like, it's a very small transition. I just wished I wish the third act played on that a bit more. That's what I wish. But other than that, it's a great film, and honestly, it's now my favourite Hunger Games movie. At number 6, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yeah. Okay, first things first, this is very controversial, and I know a few of my friends are not gonna like what I'm about to say. I actually really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's a fun time. The quantum realm exploration, there's drama, there's good fight scenes, and Kang actually has a hold of Ant-Man and the Wasp. He kicks some far good ass. But it just feels like an Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel. This was the start of Phase 5 in the movie sense. It was the start of the Kang Dynasty arc and things like this, and it just felt a bit flat. I don't know whether it's because this version of Kang got defeated so easy or so quick. I don't know if it's because it is just an Ant-Man 3 or an Ant-Man Wasp 2, however you want to see it. But, it's just meh. It's just meh. It's just a bit flat. It's a good film. It's a good third Ant-Man film, and it's a fun MCU film. But if you put it up to what the MCU is, and what it's meant to lead up to and stuff, how they did it beforehand, it just falls just a little bit flat. It's just, there's something missing there. Kang's meant to be this huge, holy crap, this is our main arc villain like Thanos. And apparently this Kang just got sucked. I don't know. I feel like there's some scenes could have been swapped with stuff. MODOK looked absolutely horrendous. I wanted to vomit. Other than that, though, it's a fun time. Number 5, I have Blue Beetle. Honestly, one of my now favourite DCEU films. It was nice to DC to do a film that's very Spider-Man-esque, very Iron Man-esque, very... hell, even Dark Knight-esque, where we have a superhero, just one, and we have a superhero who has family, and he loves them, and his life's a bit shit, and then bang, he gets superpowers, he's now a superhero, and now he's got to muddle up with his superhero life, but his normal boring life, which he's also got to help his family, and somehow they're all kind of woven in together right at the third act, and right at the end, it's okay. It felt very 2000-y. It felt like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. It felt like the Dark Knight trilogy. It felt like the very first set of the MCU films before Avengers were a thing. It felt like back then. It has this nostalgia to it, and it looks incredible. I adore the look of Blue Beetle. I'm really glad it's not all CGI. There is actually a suit. What they do with the suit is a bit underwhelming, but still very good. And honestly, the cast is fantastic. I love the uncle. The guy who plays Jaime is really good as well. I'm glad that they're keeping him as a character, maybe not the film, but they're keeping him as a character in the next DC Universe set of movies of James Gunn. Honestly, it's just a fun film. And honestly, I've actually grown to love it the more I think about it. Yeah, it's just a fun time. It is just a great film. I think it's in my top 5 DCEU films, and easily in my top 10 DC films now. At number 4, we have Wonka. Honestly, another big surprise here. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm a big lover of the books of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Roald Dahl books. I'm also a big lover of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film. And then they did is it Wonka? Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Factory's the, Jared Leto one, not Jared Leto. What the fuck am I saying? I'm gonna get punched in the mouth in a minute. What the hell is his name? Johnny Depp. God damn, I couldn't remember that for a second. So yeah, don't ask me his name, Timothy, right? He is a fantastic Wonka. The way he acts, the way he's displayed. He's got a nice little voice on him. If it is that is actually singing, that's a good, nice little voice on him. But yeah, honestly, it just feels like a Wonka character. He feels like Willy Wonka. And the thing is, it's not even a prequel to his factory, which I enjoyed. It's the character himself. It's not even needed. This film literally has no impact at all to the Willy Wonka character we see in Charlie and Chocolate. It's just a film about Wonka. It's not even really a prequel per se, because yes, he gets his factory at the end, but that literally is at the end. There's a good set of characters. The cast is very diverse. I adore the villains in this. They are so funny. They are so clever. I love the guy who just wants to throw up after you say poor. So awesome. This film is really good. I love the last couple scenes. He sings the very famous Willy Wonka song, Come Fly With Me, or Come With Me. Should I say not Come Fly With Me? World Your Dream World of Pure Imagination song. But yeah, he steals the show for me. He's a great Wonka. The villains are fun. It's a goofy movie, of course. There's lots of wacky, weird, like, sweets and chocolates are made. And the cool thing is, it's, like, you can tell it's made by, it's got a lot of British actors in it, which is good, because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory takes place in London. So, that's awesome too. But yeah, honestly, a great watch. If you are a big fan of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the books or the movie, from obviously a good couple, decades ago at this point, then I think you're going to enjoy this film. He definitely fits in to the world of Willy Wonka. The only critique I have of it, I don't like the Oompa Loompas. I do not like what they do with the Oompa Loompas, but other than that, I really want them to do a sequel to this. Give us a film about him with the factory, having issues, Oompa Loompas in and stuff like that. Just give us another film. Now we're at the top, final three, and these films I thoroughly enjoyed, and yeah, let's dive in. At number 3, we have Five Nights at Freddy's. Honestly, I said this in my talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. I do not play the game. I've never played the game. I have no interest in playing the game. The lore of the game intrigues me. I watch a lot of YouTube videos online of people. I've watched the game theorists and stuff just talk about the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. It intrigues me. It's just the game mechanics and stuff does not intrigue me whatsoever. This film handles it really, really well. It's now one of my favourite thriller movies. The animatronics look fantastic. Absolutely, holy crap, it looks good. They obviously do the thing where, oh yeah, here's a main character that isn't really relevant, but we're gonna need a main character. We need someone dumb that people get explained to, so you guys can get explained to. We need someone scared, we need someone in the action, blah, blah, blah. Of course. I really enjoyed the villain. I did watching it, I am sat there thinking, right, hang on a minute. That guy, he's something. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The animatronics look fantastic. I've looked at their gaming counterparts and they look really good. There's some, it's not as Five Nights at Freddy horror thriller as I'd like it, but maybe they could do a sequel where maybe it does get a bit more gruesome. I adore the very first time we see the animatronics attacking the people breaking in to Five Nights at Freddy's. And oh my god, the way the goth chick dies, the babysitter, yeah, that had me and my mate wetting ourselves. That was absolutely fantastic. This film is a lot of fun, and the reason why it's in my 3rd spot is because it just shocked me so much. Me and my friend went into this film thinking to ourselves, yeah, it's alright, why not? But guys, this film is so good. I'm really excited to watch it again. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The end of a trilogy. The Guardians of the Galaxy are not who we think they are anymore. They're all going off in different directions. Peter Quill gets to be with his long-lost father. Mantis is now going off on a little adventure. And of course, Rocket is now the leader of the new Guardians of the Galaxy. And Gamora is wherever Gamora is. This film is phenomenal. It is one of the best MCU films since the Infinity Saga. It's definitely up there in my top 5 favourite films after the Infinity Saga. It continues. Guardians of the Galaxy are really well done. It plays off on the Christmas special as well. And the one of the reasons I have just a slither of hope for James Gunn's DC universe is because of this film. James Gunn is really well done. And, he gave us a 3rd film. Okay, so that this is now, obviously if you take Infinity War and Endgame, 5 films altogether. We've got a Christmas special. So that's 6 installments to technically 5 installments before this last act of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And the thing is with this is you have a background story for a character that's been in it since day one. We get the background story to Rocket Raccoon, who is in the first film, he's in the second film, he's in Avengers, and he's in the Christmas special. He's been in all of the installments, and we get his backstory, and holy crap, I cried. I bawled my eyes out like a tiny little baby that needs mama's breast. I'm not joking. I fell in love with this film, and it was done so goddamn well. It was fucking fantastic. The only critique I have for this movie is Adam Warlock was shat upon before he even got casted. They literally put Adam Warlock in this is because if they didn't and they ended it the way they ended it, people would have gone, hey! Marvel! Volume 2! You teased Adam Warlock, where the fuck is he? You know, that's literally the only reason that we got Adam Warlock on this film. I think the villain was really well done. He is a generic supervillain, and he does get beaten, but I love him. He was so well acted. Holy shit, he was well acted. Really good. The background story for Rocket did make me bawl my eyes out. I never thought I'd cry over an animated character. This film is fun. It's lovable. There's just so much good in this film. And honestly, it's one of the best. It ends off a good trilogy. And yeah, it's just now one of my favourite Guardians of the Galaxy films. And one of my favourite films since Infinity War. And at number 1, I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This, by far, was the best film I saw all year. It had me holding my breath from the very first second. The introduction is all about Spider-Gwen, or Gwen Stacy, or however you want to label her as, and holy shit, they had it panel from the comic books. It looked so goddamn good. This film, visually, from a visual aspect, holy fucking crap. They had all different Spider-Men, with all different animations. We had Spider-Punk, we had that Vulture villain, who was only in it for a couple seconds, but he looked all like black and white. We had 2099, we had Miles and Gwen, and we had the Indian Spider-Man. Holy shit, the different universes we saw. Just this film, the visually was drop dead stunning. Then we had the storyline. This film starts off goofy as all Spider-Man films do. Spider-Man versus the Spot. I love the Spot. I'm really glad he's getting more limelight. He's a really cool character. And again, I'm just glad he's getting more limelight. But then they turn him into this multiversal effect, this like, oh god damn shit's happening villain. But then he gets pushed to one side. He's not even in the movie half the time. Because it's about Miles. They made this film so knicker-gripping. They changed it really quickly in such a good way from, hey, we need to stop this villain, we're not superheroes, that is our job, holy fuck, things are happening, what the fuck's this, I've made a mistake, like all superhero movies go through, but then they turn it personal. They ended it in a breathtaking, holy fuck, moment. It took my breath away. When the credits rolled, I actually was tempted to scream, what the fuck are you doing? Stop running the credits, give us the rest of the film! It blew my mind. The fact that we build up this thing of, Miles is an accident, he shouldn't exist, and then we have Miles literally attacking 2099 or Miguel O'Hara, and he's like, hey, I'll write my own story, fuck you, I was on the edge of my seat. This film just had me from the get-go. I'm so watching it again before the third one comes out. I'm very much looking forward to the third one, and holy shit, it was good. It was so good. This film had me by my balls from the very first fucking second. That film was a really good film, and my top 1 pick. So there you have it, guys. 11 films I saw in 2023. Super Mario Bros. Was the film I didn't see in the cinema. And again, I only saw Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom the other day. So I do apologise about that. So, yeah. I'll do another one of these films beginning of 2025 where I do 2024 films. Me and my friend James often do go see the films. together. But now that me and my fiance have realised there's a couple of films we want to go see, me and my fiance are doing it as well. We're actually going to go see our very first 2024 film in a couple of days. So I can't wait to put it on the list and start off my list. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I apologise if this video was a little long for you guys. And of course, check out the rest of my content. So now that this video is over and done with, I can finally get into my reviews, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll also be diving into some video game stuff as well. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss another video. If you want me to do any deep dives, information, or lore building or anything of any of these films, let me know. And of course, I shall see you guys real soon. Bye.